The Mashemeji Derby, which translates to Derby of In-Laws, is a fierce, highly competitive football encounter between AFC Leopards and Gor Mahia, rooted in decades of history dating back to their first meeting in 1968. The two clubs belong to neighboring communities in Western Kenya, the Luhya and the Luo, who have long intermarried, becoming in-laws, and hence the name Mashemeji. But beneath those cultural and affectionate ties lies a fierce rivalry and high-octane competition that makes their clashes the biggest spectacle in Kenyan football. One that grips the entire country's attention and fills stadiums to capacity on match day. The two clubs are the oldest, biggest and most decorated football clubs in Kenya. AFC Leopards, whose nickname Ingwe means leopard in Luhya, is the oldest surviving football club in Kenya, having been established on 12th March 1964 as Abaluhya United. It is a club that has withstood the test of time, weathering leadership, financial and league survival challenges over the years. Gor Mahia, nicknamed Kogalo in Luo, meaning descendants of Ogalo, was founded in 1968 and is the second oldest football club in the country. Having faced similar challenges like the Leopards, it remains the most successful club in the Kenya Premier League, winning 22 league titles compared to Ingwe's 13. Fixtures between these two arch rivals are charged with local, cultural, religious and political undertones that captivate thousands of fans whenever the two clubs meet, making it a must-win for either club.
We beat Gor Mahia, the 70s. The 70s was ours. We beat Gor Mahia flat out. And we beat all the clubs. FC went unbeaten in quite a number of either provincial league or local league. And the number of visiting teams, one is Sunderland. Sunderland of England came. When they toured East Africa, beating all the clubs. But when it came to FC, then Abaluhya, they lost.
With FC also being on top, I think that one always improves the game. Like now that FC is coming back, because there were times, like in the last 3-4 years, Gor Mahia was just beating FC, and I wasn't happy about it. I wanted a situation where Gor Mahia would also be beaten.
You know, once imekuwa tu one-sided, the derby just becomes one-sided. It loses its meaning. Yeah? So it came to lose its meaning for the last maybe 10 years, where for real Gor Mahia dominated the derby. Mpaka unaona mpaka hizo trophies zenye wameshinda mpaka hapa penye wamefika. FC Leopards kidogo, it lost it somewhere. And it trickles down also to management. Yeah. So we are back. Ukiangalia the past maybe two seasons, now we are coming back. The derby is now coming back. And especially if you saw it last year. Last year it was massive. Last season. The last season it was actually massive. So guys are coming back. We are coming back. The derby is now coming back.
Wakati nilipoingia FC, niliambiwa siku ya game, hata kama uko na rafiki gani kwa Gor Mahia, don't say hi.
New players would come in, train for 3-4 days against Butter Bullet. We beat Butter Bullet. Brewery, we beat Brewery. That's an arrangement. We know Gor Mahia the league is already there. You know, you've got the league these days. Gor Mahia is coming first week of next month. So we wait now for Gor. It's coming end of this month. That's the time. Because any coaches, even Muzungu coaches we had, we used to tell him, Coach, you have signed a contract, you're going to give me money. You money. But even if you buy, we used to have in Nairobi a double-decker. We used to say, even if you buy us, we FC Leopard fans, a double-decker bus, your goals, number one, Gor Mahia, mpaka Ilale.
Given the history of these two clubs, I think they have done a lot for Kenyan football. And they have their die-hard fans who have always followed them, even in the bush, if they had to go back to the bush. And I think that is what has kept Kenyan football alive. Yeah, because Gor Mahia without AFC, there's no game. There's no football in Kenya.
You see, you could find Muluya yule ako Western analala njaa kwa sababu amepigwa na Gor Mahia. Unaona? Siku hiyo. Yule Mjaluo ako huko Homa Bay ama wapi analala njaa kwa sababu amepigwa na Abaluya.
The build-up to the Mashemeji Derby is always a mouth-watering affair. Media spaces are awash with campaigns covering everything from the legacy and passion of the two clubs to ticket sales and gate entry logistics. Fans are allocated separate gates and seating arrangements are strictly divided. On match day, supporters from both clubs paint Nairobi in blue, white and green. They gather as early as 11 a.m. in the city center, breaking into song and dance as the crowd swells. For Gor Mahia, fans congregate at the legendary Tom Mboya statue along Moi Avenue to seek blessings before facing the Leopards.
They call it the Mashemeji Derby.
For many seasons, the Nyayo National Stadium has hosted this clash of rivals. The rules are unwritten but strictly observed. Ingwe and Kogalo fans do not share gates or seating, whether at the terraces or in the VIP section of the main stand. AFC Leopards traditionally occupy the left side of the stadium, while Gor Mahia sits on the right. Both sets of fans sing and dance to the rhythms of their communities throughout the match. A section of Ingwe fans bring live chickens to the stadium, a bird highly treasured among the Luhya and considered a special delicacy, particularly when served with ugali. The club has also commissioned mascots featuring chicken designs. For Kogalo fans, fish and ugali is their signature delicacy, and it too makes an appearance in the terraces.
This is Mashemeji Derby. Now they say in such a match, there is no neutrality. You have to pick a side. Are you blue and white for AFC Leopards or Ingwe? Or are you the Green Army Kogalo, Gor Mahia? This is about tradition. This is about pride. A match, a derby that has been passed from generation to generation. It's about taking one for the community.
In the 2025-2026 season, the rivalry remained evenly contested. AFC Leopards won the 98th Mashemeji Derby by a single goal. Gor Mahia won the second leg during the 98th edition by the same margin, though Ingwe disputed the results.
It never had a meaning. But now this one, and especially this season, it had a meaning. We are going to, the two teams were neck to neck. So it gave it something else. Second, they were down, but I had to go to the dressing room and tell them, hey guys, it's another match. And sorry to say, they lost it. I don't think if I lost that match, I lost to the referee, and I'll never mince my words.
Boniface Ambani, the current AFC Leopards chairman and a former player of the club, says derby matches are mentally and physically demanding before and during the game.
You could be physically fit, but again, it's not even about how physically fit you are or whatever, but it's always about the mental strength when you're facing the derby. Because that's what we call bragging rights. Huh? and the bragging rights come with the derby. So preparation during that week, there's a lot of pressure from the fans, from your family itself, personally, even from you as a player, from the coach, from the officials.
During those times, it was not easy for someone like me who comes from this side to play for FC. Because if it was a Baluya, if you are Luya or you are Luo, you had to play on this side and not on the other side. And the competition was tough, was very tough. Even before the game was played, the hype that was always there, a month even before the game, would really awaken people mentally until the day of the match. And I can remember one day I played a game against FC Leopards. I don't know whether we won or lost. I think we must have won. I was tired for 2 days. I just went home to sleep. It is a game that always pushed you to the limit.
It's not always easy for a player, and especially maybe somebody who has never played a derby. So it's always tough. But it's a match that always puts you on the edge of every single player in the country, and especially when you perform well in that match. It's a match that can actually put you down as a player, and at the same time, it's a match that can actually put you on the Kenyan map. So it's either way. So the preparation is always, it's always tough. Yes, you prepare like the way you prepare other matches, but this one, you now face it on a different angle. Actually, if the defense maybe mistake or the keeper's mistake, it trickles down to the fans. The fans can even look for you. I remember one of our players, I don't know what was what was our players, the days I used to play football. These guys went to look for him in his, where he was staying, in his house, yeah. They had to beat him up. So it's a match that you don't, there's no margin of error. You just concede a goal because maybe you consider a goal, but it's not that a goal that you, as a person, the fans are looking at you as if you are the one who made them lose, yeah?
You play in the derby, you've got to give your best for your side.
It depends. It depends on each and every single player. There are those, actually, when you come out of the dungeon and you're looking at a mammoth crowd, what you're not used to. Sometimes it'll take off some of the players off, and others it will bring it into the game. So it actually depends on you as a player. Others maybe that one cannot even affect them. It will now affect them when on the pitch now. Your first touch actually in that match takes you off or takes you on that pitch. So it's always about the moments. I shall say it's about the moments. Yeah.
It is psychological. You start thinking about it that early. And even these other league matches that you play before that game don't really matter until that day for the derby. Yeah, they prepare. You are in the process of getting ready for the big game. You would lose to these other teams, but not the derby. Yeah, that is the feeling. And also the fans out there, they were always, they took it very seriously, even more than us, the players.
Every second, every pass, and every dribble draws rousing cheers or jeers from the stands. Here, football commands the pitch, while the carnival atmosphere fills the air. Occasionally, firecrackers in blue and green colors are set off on either side, depending on which team is dictating the play. But a wrong call by match officials or the perception that one team has been unfairly favored can trigger chaos. Running battles that start inside the stadium sometimes spill onto the streets and even into residential estates.
Sijui ilikuwa mwaka gani, first leg Gor Mahia walitupiga 5-0 City Stadium. Second leg tulipiga Gor Mahia 1-0 and I scored the goal. Hata nikafungiwa kwa goal na players wale ninajua ni my friends. Wengine wakaja wasema kama nilikuwa mwache tu. Siku hiyo tiaga zilipigwa, watu walifukuza mpaka industrial area. Bama haukuwa na chakula, ilibakia. Hiyo chakula ilifagiliwa na hawa jamaa na fans. Kufika Isili, wajua wengi wanaishi upande wa Eastlands, fans wa Gor Mahia ama wa FC. Pale walikuwa napita na kitu, kila kitu.
When there was riot in City Stadium, we were taken to Mombasa. Nairobi was kutupa mawe. They were throwing stones. I don't want to mention which side does that. Throwing stones. Mpira umesimama. Vita ndio hiyo. So we went until security. Ken Matiba went to Jomo Kenyatta, the president, State House, to ask for Commissioner of Police Bernard Hinga to bring the GSU. Hinga was there, President Kenyatta. Hinga told me, Your Excellency, Mr. President, unless you declare a stadium, is it no go on? They say in English they use.
In a state of emergency.
Thank you. It's a sports. So we just reinforce the policemen. Luo Union and Gor Mahia, they start in Kaloleni before the match starts. That was a part of psychological to tease the other part. Then you enter the stadium. If the first goal FC enters, mpira paka isimame. Referee paka apigwe. Dressing room meeting. Again. Haikuwa mchezo. Because they were losing. It's better Imame and replayed, Ismame replayed, but not beat Gor. Haikuwa mchezo. Now, Njonjo got worried. Charles Njonjo advised Moi that all clubs with the tribal name must change. That's from Abaluya to AFC Leopard, Luo Union to Gor Mahia. But when Gor Mahia was asked to change, Robert Ouko, that's why I say Luo leaders are more close. He was a minister for foreign affairs. And he told the president, no, Luo would reach President Kenyatta. He told President Kenyatta, no, Goro is a name. It's not a tribal. But Luo is Luo. So Goro retained their seat, which cannot happen in the Luya leaders.
So that's why Luo Union was cleverly put to reunion.
Thank you. Luo Union became reunion. So Luo Union for Siaya, that's under Jaramogi Oginga Odinga. Mboya, South Nyanza. Mboya is behind, started Gor Mahia.
Playing for the opposing community's club was long considered a grave betrayal, a line that simply was not crossed. John Okello Zangi and Abdallah Shebe went against the grain by joining the Leopards' Den in 1989. The move was treated as outright treachery. Gor Mahia fraternity was furious, and their brief stints at Ingwe brought them considerable danger. Shebe ultimately terminated his contract and left quietly. Zangi had to contend with the open hostility during derbies and required heavy security after matches.
It depends on the individual, because for me, I wouldn't risk. I would not have risked to move from Gor Mahia, because the first person to move from Gor Mahia to Tusker was Charles Otieno. Then I was still playing for Gor Mahia, and the way that guy was harassed would make anybody get scared, not even to try. But Charlie did it, and his life was miserable, because you'll find him being harassed whenever he was playing for Tusker, and until he was transferred to Mombasa, and then he died. Zangi the same when he joined AFC Leopards. There was the same problem. Until later on, when people realized that this is just football, why don't you let these people play? Like when Shikanda played for Gor and FC, Sunguti the same, and it started becoming normal.
Dr. William Obwaka Eluya from Kakamega, who had never played for Leopards, made headlines in 1985 when he scored a brace for Gor Mahia in Khartoum, Sudan, handing the Luo club victory over AFC Leopards in the Sekafa Club Championship finals. Angry members of his own Luya community stormed his family home, setting the house and farm on fire in retaliation for what they saw as a betrayal of the community pride.
We were just happy after winning the game. But this idea of William Obwaka, a Luya boy, beating is this other team where he belongs, it didn't crop into our minds. More so myself, I didn't think of it in any other way. But I think the AFC people must have been, is it afflicted or inflicted? The damage that he did on them was huge. Was huge. That is why I think word came later that their farm was put on fire. Anybody would think that way, even if it was a Luo coming to do that for Gor Mahia. We wouldn't take it lightly.
Matthew Otama Owino, popularly known as Matthew Otamax, is among the few players to have turned out for both arch rivals. Despite being a reliable first-choice goalkeeper who helped Leopards win many matches, questions about his loyalty would surface during derby matches, including in 1998, when AFC Leopards were on the verge of winning the Kenya Premier League. The stakes were high. Loyalty was considered paramount.
So nakumbuka derby ya pili tukicheza na Gor Mahia sasa 98. Tukiwa kambi kule kasemekana mimi siwezi cheza hiyo mechi because I'm a Luo. Na hii siasa ililetwa na mtu mmoja. Alianza tu kunipiga vita hapo. Ilibidi chairman wa team aingilie kati. Yeah, because mimi nilikuja tu kocha akasema yeye anataka kunichezesha but kuna siasa mvutano natoka huko nje. So mimi nikawauliza okay. Na nakumbuka tulikuwa kambini makipa wawili, mimi na Mohamed Fire. Kipa wa tatu akaitwa Charles Bushira. Kumaanisha mimi hata labda sitakaa kwa bench.
I remember we had the likes of Philip Ouma when I was playing. Polo Chieng, Francois Dugo, and Otamax was there. But I remember, yes, the match against Gor Mahia, and I don't know, it's Fire, Mohamed Fire. He had to come in between the posts, yeah. So and all along it was Otamax who was playing. So I couldn't comprehend. I had just joined AFC Leopards by then. So it's as later on I started understanding the intricacies between all these things around Gor Mahia and AFC Leopards. So anyway, you just need to understand, because you being a Luo and you are in the posts. Like I'll give you a very good example. Opio. Let's be open. Opio. There's a match between Gor Mahia and AFC Leopards. Opio did some primary school blunders, and then AFC Leopards lost. So since then, nobody wanted to see Opio between the posts.
But behind these deep-seated historical rivalries also lie deeply held rituals and myths, beliefs that both clubs cling to tightly.
Wale watu wa zamani waliweka kwa sababu ilikuwa ni lazima ukicheza na Gor lazima muende camp. Na hii camp si ati yani mnaenda tu ile hoteli hii za kisasa hapana. Mnaangaliwa mahali pengine pale hamwezi kutana na mtu, unaona. So you go there, you eat. Hata ina force zingine officials wanakuja ndio wanacook chakula. Hawataki yani chakula itoke kwingine kwa sababu maybe kuna mtu wa Gor ataweka kitu ama mtu wa Baluya ataweka kitu. Unaona? So hizo beliefs zilikuwa.
Nikilala camp nilikuwa naamka niko very weak. So nilikuwa nashindwa difference kwa nini nafanyika. Basa zingine tusipuuze hizi vitu, ziko na powers zake. Una tu mnyonge, you're dull. So sisi wenyewe kama wachezaji kwa sema leo ameka overdose. Unajua kunapata wanaweka vitu kwa chakula zile zifai. Na ukiangalia labda mtu ameweka vitu kwa chakula scientifically inaweza kwa pia inaathiri system yako. Tunapata wachezaji wengine walikuwa naharisha kabla mechi. Unajua pia kuharisha unajua unakuwa dehydrated, nguvu haipo. So mimi nilipo realize hivyo nikasema sitakuwa nakuja camp. Iko Pamzo mtaja, Pamzo alinitetea sana because nilikuwa nguzo pale kwa hiyo Gor Mahia ya. So ukiona mechi nikicheza nacheza vizuri sana. Akawaambia do you want to win ama tunataka tu tamasalale camp. So nilipojua kwa nini wananiforce kukuja camp ni because of zile vitu wanafanya. So kuna siku tulipoenda camp mahali hapo Parklands. Tukaambiwa unajua hoteli iko na watu wao wa kazi, watu wa au semaje, housekeeping nini. But tunapata wale scout wetu, wale stewards wa Gor Mahia, hao ndio waliingia pale, hao ndio walikuwa wanatandika mabed, hao ndio wengine wapishi. The next day about 5 players walikuwa na nosebleed. Hiyo kuambia nini? Juezi kwa tu ni coincidence. Watu 5 wana nosebleed. So mimi nilipo realize hiyo kitu nikaachana nayo. So nilipokuwa Gor ikicheza mimi siendi camp. But naambia tu coach, just have faith in me. You need me, najua pia mimi ile kukaa pale ndio. Alafu nilikuwa pia Gor ilikuwa inahangaika sana.
When I was a player, I used to see those things, yeah? They used to happen. But the best thing, I never, ever participated in any. I've been in Yanga. Yanga is even worse. Yeah? Yanga, literally, I could be left in the hotel alone. When you're going for supper or dinner, you are alone at the dinner table, and then you are asking, "Hey guys, where are you? Guys, wameenda wapi kuona babu?"
Mimi na marehemu John Lichuku kwa tu wale sumbua. Kocha akisema TM akisema tusikule kuku, sisi tunasema tukulagi nini? Tukulagi red meat. So na tucheze game bila nini? So all the time tuko tunago against bila amesema tunakula kuku. So kuna siku alinipata nikikula kuku, akakuja akakasirika. Unasema amekula kuku. Lakini at the end of the match, at the end of the day tumeshinda. Sasa mi game ilikuwa inaisha na mwambia, na si huyu amekula kuku. Hataki kusikia. So kuna time AFC Leopards wakienda kucheza, juu nitawasumbua hizo mechi kama hizi madabi walikuwa wananiweka nje. Inakuwa tu yani wani explain kwa nini, but because wanajua nitakataa.
The researchers these guys have always been here, and everybody wants to live, and they'll come up with stories that we have to do this and that, and all this is done with money. These things don't work for me. Let me say, these things don't work. The only thing that works is when you bribe a player to play badly. That one will work. But when you come with all this stuff, like the one you've just showed me, that one does not make an impact anywhere. But the people doing it, they want to be seen to be doing something so that after the game, when they win the game, they'll get their money and go and eat. Sometimes they would get more money than the players who have played just because of all that stuff. But it is a mind game. It is a mind game.
But clubs have budgetary allocations to that.
They have. I would say they have, because these guys, they are sent far away to bring funny things. There were times that you'd find there are coaches who are also in it, and then they want it done. I'll not mention names. Even in Gor Mahia, there were coaches who would want you to do a few things that we never liked doing, but you had to do. Because if you never did it and you end up losing, it will be another story. You will be called a saboteur.
True. During our time, we practice it. It's open. There's no secret about it. It's been open, published. It's been all over. But I don't know today whether FC is practicing it. But we can see the other clubs are there. It's only Gor, because that have to beat those Mashemeji. And it's very sweet when you beat a Shemeji. As I said, many players were not exposed. It would only be the captain, the leading player, maybe like in those days, maybe a Nyanzwa and Jonathan. Kadenge didn't. Kadenge didn't support. Kadenge did not. I'll repeat that. Joe, no. Meenda kwa hiyo vitu yenu.
Reunion were fighting for their lives. Walikuwa pale kwenye relegation. This relegation battle ya Reunion iliwapit again kama finali of its own na against Panpepa. Unapata? Tukatoka hapa Nairobi, game iko Ilala Stadium Webuye. Panpepa, ile timu inashinda ina survive. Ukishindwa wewe umeenda. So sisi na ile umtaani yetu, Reunion pia ilikuwa ina struggle financially. But hiyo siku Reunion ilichukua Nissan a 14-seater ya watu wa scientists. Tukasafiri nao, wengine pia zio walikuwa wanapatikana kule, wakawekwa hoteli moja. Tulipofika tumetravel, game mechi ni Saturday, tumetravel kwa na travel to Friday. Tumefika kule, hakuna kulala. Hawa watu funny looking people wako hotelini. Tukaitwa sasa na wakubwa wetu, wakatuambia nyinyi ujifanya watu wa mtaa, sasa hiyo mtaa yenu mtaiwacha kando. Unaona? Mnataka kusurvive. Haya. So lazima tuwasikize. Juu wenyewe pia sisi tunataka kusurvive, hataki kushushwa. So lazima leo nyinyi ndio tukaoshwa mamiguu, ingiza hapa, sijui ruka nini, wanafanya hizo mavitu zao, hizo ganga zao. Na by the way, tulikuwa tumekaa, tumefocus. Unaona ile kwa makini. Tuna hizo vitu zao, kama unacheza ludo, anatupa mavitu in the middle of the night. Na zinafanywa gizani. So hapo ndio kuna mmoja akasema, ule I think alikuwa mzee sana, yeye ndio ni kama chief wao. Akasema huko mbele ni hatari. Hii hata mtu anaweza poteza maisha. Washasikia mganga anakuambia iwe keni Mungu. Wakasema wakitravel, juu pia wale kuna vile wanafanya, zinagongana hapa. Hapa mtu anaweza poteza maisha yake. Siku ya mechi, the following day mchana, sasa tunajua tumecamp Kisumu, jia uoga. Na tujalala, tuko Kisumu, mechi iko Webuye. Unaona pia ina tatizo ukianza kuangalia logistics za mechi, hiyo traveling nini. Tulipotoka, we had a tire burst. So zile vitu tuliambiwa zinaanza kusink. Mimi kitu ya kwanza unajua bado nilikuwa mdogo sana. Nikasema mimi nikajiondoa, siwezi cheza hii game. Siwezi cheza. Tulipofika kule stadium, najua pia huko Webuye kuna fans wa Reunion. Kuna jamaa anafanya kazi hapo Panpepa. Akakuja akatuibia siri. Akatuambia hii kiwanja watu wa Jalala wameshindwa wakifanya roga zao. So hata bench msikae, msiingie dressing room. Huko ndo wamefanya mambo zao. Lakini moja kisheria lazima mkae kwa bench. So sijui alisemaje, mugeuze hiyo bench, hizo viti upside down. Kama lazima muzitumie. Do you know what happened? Unfortunately, referee alikufa kwenye hiyo mechi. So sad. Alikuwa tu mtu mzima tu, ile ameenda amefuata ball hivi, mara imerudisha hivi kitana akaanguka. Na hiyo time Pan Pepo alikuwa na lead by a goal to 0. Mechi ikaanza, ule assistant referee akachukua, akaianzisha. Referee alikuwa amekimbizwa hospitalini. Walirudi ikakuwa news ati ameaga. So sad. Kaanza kukumbuka hiyo vitu, ilikuwa lazima mtu, unaona. So vitu kama hizo pia zinakuingia kwa mind, unala kwani hizi vitu ni ukweli. But sasa mmoja referee imekuwa yeye ndio collateral. So mechi ilikatizwa tu hapo, of which it was good in his honor. Ingekuwa sad sana mmoja wetu is part of the ameaga, alafu nyinyi mnaendelea kutafuta ushindi, ule ameshinda ameenda kifurahi. So mechi ilikuwa rescheduled.
His mind psychological. Even witchcraft was purely psychological. Not all players were exposed, no. The manager, team manager, officials, and not even all officials. And they used to say, if you had a firstborn son, don't usonge karibu na team. I'm lucky I got a star because my firstborn is a daughter. So, Gale, you fit in. So the coach is told the weakness and the strength of the other goalkeeper.
As a captain, walikuwa akiniambia, but nawaambia, okay, you just do it. Yule anataka afanyiwe, yule hataki msimforce. So but hiyo yao, wao walikuwa wazee kidogo kuliko sisi. When I believe, yani inafanya. They go to mganga anawaambia mtafunga babao kwa dakika ya ngapi. Okay, it may happen, but ilikuwa imejichora kitambo. Si ati yani ina happen kwa sababu yes. Mimi hata kuna vitu zingine walikuwa wananipa niweke kwa viatu, natupa kando. And when I go there, I play my game. And I score. You see? So easy vitu.
Football is about preparation. And what is preparation? Getting ready. Exercising and getting ready. Where does this one come in? Because it is done on the eve of the game or a bit 4 days before the game. There are things they do. How does it help the game? And yet, because I hear this thing started even before we started playing the game, as early as 1964, 65, when I was a baby. In 64, 1964, I was 6 years old. When God was being formed, I was 10 years old. Okay, some of us never believed in them, but you just participate because you want to be. You don't want to be crucified later when things don't go the right way. Yeah, but personally, those things were done. And for those there are players who believe, even coaches who believe that these things happen. Even the current crop of coaches do it. I won't mention names, but it is said out there that there are a crop of coaches, and there are players who still believe that these things happen, and we will just live with it that way. Yeah.
We'd go to Mombasa. I was driving a Volkswagen. Somebody who denies can come up and challenge me. We drove. When we were meeting Gor Mahia in Mombasa, we went to Kwale. Can't remember the name of Mzee. The moon was shining. Maembe imeanguka from the gate. Unasikia, mlio wa mango what? Mango leaves. Wow. Naingia ndani. Na the chairman alijua wote yote. We entered inside. anaweka candles misima, analeta maji, akileta maji, our old man Umfira was very good. They name names of players who are Gor Mahia. They name them. Wanaweka ndani ya maji. Now Kora, they also mikora one. They look for money. They say, hey, imakatas is not sinking. You call that what in English? It's not sinking. Ama kwa Kiswahili. It's just not floating, but it's supposed to sink. Eh? Yeah. Oh, so then I was right. Yeah. The water, the little names and the small peppers are not sinking. They're just floating there. Anashika hiyo mdomo anasema. But if you have done science, a pepper takes a few minutes, seconds before it gets wet. So if you went to school, you'd tell the whole thing is playing game. Yeah. So in a float, oh, hii mpira ni mgumu. Ay, abaluya. Hii ngumu. Hamshindi. Ay. You know. That means money. You have to cough. Ay. Then ingine ina sink. Nani huyo sijui nani. Ay. Yasianga inakataa. Yeah, sinking. They sink. Yeah, mambo si mabaya. Itakuwa mgumu. Then mtashinda. Baluya mtashinda, lakini ni ngumu. Itakuwa ngumu, lakini baadaye mtashinda. So wanasema huyu Sianga nataka agonge Paul. Piga hii kwa chuma. The witchcraft guy mzee anasema no. Mimi siumizi watu. I don't kill people. No. Alikata. Sema he doesn't. Anafanya tu kazi ya sports ya kushinda. Mombasa, Kwale. We went. At night. Usiku bwana midnight. Wameshafu vijana scouts wameenda wamebuku. So we saw it. But as I keep repeating, not all players.
So how did that game end?
We won. FC won 1-0. Na mpira haemba, let me tell you, me I belong to Catholic Church. If you send that ball to Rome, even if you send to the bishop, is it Muheria, ilale huko, na mlete kwa mpira, hamshindi, aombe, send it to Cardinal what? All the Anglican Church, ilale kwa kanisa. Football. Lakini now, I don't know. Najua Mungu. I don't.
I believe juju is a belief. It's a myth. And if you believe in it, it works for you, but one day stop working. Because I've been in many incidences as a player. I wouldn't name the team, but I was a player. And at night, they brought a so-called juju man. We were walking up. We made a line of the players who were playing. The guy had 2 black chicken, and he came and said a lot of things. Then we had to slaughter the chicken. He says we cook it raw. We don't put water in it, fry, whatever. Then he was saying, Ofeneke, you are going to score 2 goals tomorrow. Ghost 2 goals. And he said we are going to beat those guys 6. I remember it was Woodley Green Stadium, Kibra. We went to that game. That is the most difficult game I've ever witnessed as playing. Where tunapigwa chuma pigo. Unashangaa ule mganga yuko wapi bana? Game inaendelea, sisi tunakoswa. Game ilienda 0-0. Huyu jamani tunaambia. But vile mlimula kuko on light note. Man. So that's one incident that I was like, really? Then as a coach, this is very true. One time, it happened 2 times, I think. No, it happened 3 times. Something that was said and was like, really? Number one, it was in Congo, DRC. We played Motema Pembe. When Tusker 1994, we qualified for the CAF Confederation Finals. And we went to play in Kinshasa. We drew 2-2. That was a final, two-legged. So Nairobi, we were supposed to have a 0-0 draw. We take the trophy, or any draw 1-1, still we okay. But we had a good team, confident. But on our way to Nairobi from Kinshasa, the airport, one old man called me. He asked me, which team is this? He was speaking French. He said, hey, Kelele, keep. This is Tusker FC, Kenya Brothers. Nambia, oh, Motema Pembe ici, il n'y a pas bon.
Kuna shida.
Ici, à Kinshasa, Motema Pembe, il n'y a pas bon. Akaniambia ni Motema Pembe hapa Kinshasa, they're not good. Alaba, ananiambia uko Nairobi. Alaba, 3-0. Kamwambia ce n'est pas possible. Monsieur, à Nairobi, 3-0.
Vraisi.
Bas. Kaka. Football iko na maneno, doctor.
Tanzania is worse. Oh, Tanzania is open. Uganda can deny, they do it. But in Tanzania it's open. There's one time, tuliona Burukenge, that's a lizard, eh? You said? A monitor lizard. Oh, in Tanzania, a lizard. That was Harambee Stars versus Tanzania Stars. And when, who scored that goal? I think either Mashemeji. It was a long ball. Our goal, we are now scoring. Ilienda peke yake. Where players were this end. It was a long ball. Our check was not for a long ball. Must have been Jonathan Niv. Either not Alan Thigo or something. Ikaenda paka ndani ya goal. Until goalkeeper got that pahasha or kitambaa, something inside. Saa ingine a dead bird. Ndege huko nyuma. It happens.
Siku moja tushapata sijui ni umbwa ilikuwa imenyongwa imewekwa kwa gate. Na wakati tulipoingia kulikuwa na sijui kama ulisikia burugenge kitu kama hiyo. Najua hukuwepo lakini inatoka on this side inakimbia hivi.
In Tanzania they believe in it. And if you want to get to know about it more, get Kenyan coaches who have been to Tanzania. They'll tell you how much they believe in it. Yeah. Me personally, I don't. When they came with that stuff, we also did other things to counter that stuff. That will not be mentioned here. Yeah. I can tell you off the camera.
And how did the match end?
In Tanzania, we won. We won.
Mi nakwambia nishaona coach hapa tu Gor Mahia hiyo saa tumerudi. Ako na ndege douche, unajua douche kwa mfuko. Sisi tumekaa kwa bench unasikia chui anainyonga hapo. Tukienia anainyonga. So tulipofungua bao aliachilia tuko na douche imefly. Mjela alishtuka. Akaiachilia na mkono haitoki kwa mfuko. So ni vitu watu wanaziamini. Unajua utaenda leo ule akuambia leo fanya hivi na hivi na hivi. Na kitu ameambiwa Madagascar tu mambo yake ya chumvi. Najua kuna rules this is an international match. Si mimi kama goalkeeper trainer si utangulia. Nitaingia kwanza nika set area yangu ile makipa wangu watafanyia zoezi. But yeye aliniambia nikiingia uwanjani niende pande ya forcer opponents. Unajua huku kwa away hata wanaweza kukuua. Nilimwambia tu coach nothing has changed. Unajua tulikuwa mabeste sana akaniambia nikamwage chumvi huko kwa ile post. Imagine kiwanja imejaa natoka all the way kwa post yangu naenda huku. Unajua au walikuwa wanaambia mtu unajifanya ni kama una inspect kiwanja. Nebu angalia timu mingi zile zinaingia uwanjani okay. Pitch inspection it's allowed. Susema ni kufeel kiwanja unaingiza wachezaji. But kati ya wachezaji kutakuwa na mtu ako na ulterior motive. Kuna watu wawili watatu hapo ndani ambaye anatembea tu na wachezaji hapo ndani lakini kazi yake ni kupanda mbegu. We also got
one mzee, we call him a witch doctor from Bunyala. Mzee Mango. Mango is famous in Bunyala. Then hawa nena Gor Mahia wana yao Alego Songa, we know him. Kaugagi, we know. I forget the name again. So unamuona tu hapo. So we used to bring this old mzee. Alikuwa analala kwa wanyama. That's why wanyama enda mwambie. I brought him through James Osogo Cup. Huyo alikuwa inside the stadium during the match. Alikuwa na muti. Sijui muogo. Anampa one of our scouts kuishika. Goli ikienda huko anafanya hivi. I could see that. The set minds. People are satisfied on the bench, and maybe in the field they see this old man switching. And you, Bwana Mungu, nice, you God, he wants to give you money. He succeed in your plans. You know what we do on earth as God's blessings? Man would swing. Hey, Bwana. And purely psychological, you've done anatomy. Hiyo jamaa mkono ilifura. Obviously, so you tighten the arteries, the vein that bring down huku juu. So umefunga hapa. When you, for how so unaona hata veins. Even doctors say, harden your fist. Bwana harden. After the game, bwana huyo jamaa. And it went. Anafanya hivi, it swings. Anaileta huku, ikienda huku, anaileta huku. Anasimama, yeah, we won. Hii mambo ya 1-0 is very common. 1-0, 1-2.
There was an old man called Jafeda. Jafeda at City Stadium, there was one time he pulled a chicken out of nowhere. And I think he ended up dying a few years later. The people say that because he did that, they say that chicken was planted there by the opponents. He was a God fan. So I would say the games were tough, but there were also small things that people would notice, which were never significant to me, because my mind was always focused on the game. Yeah.
Tukaambiwa hii gate ya side hii already imenyunyuziwa vitu. As hiyo tunaambiwa na waganga wetu, kwa sababu wajua wao wanajifanya nini, wamefanya research, wameona yani mahali fulani si pazuri pa kuingilia. And then tukaambiwa hii gate ya kwanza hii, si ulikuwa unaingia hii ya kwanza na magari. Imewekwa hiyo. Na sisi tukaambia sema officials wetu bila sisi wakaambiwa na waganga wao mpite ile nini ya Kaloleni. Sikuna gate kadogo hapo. So tulipita hiyo tukaja tukaruka hapa hivi tukaingia. Do you know what? Siku hiyo Maragoli walitupiga 3-2. Tumeruka fence but tumepigwa. What do you do? You believe in those position or you
Hiyo ilikuwa ni 1998 against Mumias. Hao tu watu wa science, huwa itaga watu wa science. Walikuja wakatuambia tusipitie hapa. Leo tusipitie ile the normal gate. Kuna wameshafanya mambo yao hao watu wa opponents. So tukaekewa ngazi. Na hizo ngazi unajua hapo ndio hata mchezaji anaweza umia. Ukiangalia ni unaenda kuruka mabati ambayo is very weak. Inaweza kukukata. Tukaekewa ngazi, tukaingia the other side, warm up. At the end of the day, Mumias 4, AFC Leopards 1. Sasa sijui ile ngazi ilikuwa inatusaidia na nini. Nyingine pia, si uambiwa hii Nyayo Stadium, washasikia hiyo kitu. Hoja Nyayo Stadium ilikuwa it's counted as a AFC Leopards home ground. Na siku zile ilikuwa inatengenezwa, walikuja tia wakazika mtu hapo. Umesikia vitu kama hizo. Haya zingine tulikuwa tunaambiwa ziko mingi. Wachezaji au wenda wanachukua a body from a funeral home, inaletwa inalala na nyinyi huko kwa camp, alafu inarudishwa. So mchezaji yule atakuwa hapa kuambia shaiona hizo labda ni wale wa zamani. Hii generation yetu kidogo sana.
At one time at City Stadium, I don't know which gate we used, the Russian side. And then we walked like this. You know, with the FC, you go the other way, from to the left. For goal, you go to the right. But also in the national team, it happened once when we were in Dar es Salaam. I don't know. I can't remember very well, but we went onto the pitch, into the stadium in an unusual manner. It was funny, but it happened. We never followed the correct the designated gate to get into the stadium. I don't know whether we scaled some fence somewhere, and that was the national team. Yeah, during the 3 years that we were with Mulwa. Yeah. So these things, you get a bus and you'll get more story.
In the 2023-2024 season, Kenya Police Football Club claimed that Gor Mahia scouts had attempted to smuggle a coffin into the Police Sacco Stadium in South Sea at midnight, ahead of their match the following day. An alleged attempt that was foiled by security guards.
Wakaleta jeneza pale. Sasa sijui kama kulikuwa na mtu ndani, maiti ndani, sikuiangalia, lakini hao walinzi wa stadium wa usiku waliwakataza hawakuingia. Sasa during the game, before the game, wakaleta asubuhi na mapema, wakaleta au ma priests wao, ma quote unquote, wakaanza kumwagilia hizo maji za maiti kwenye hiyo stadium yote, walikuwa wamemwagilia yote. Sasa mimi sikuwa ni attend hiyo game. Sasa executive chair akanipigia, akaniambia, Bishop, kimbia haraka kuja ufanye maombi hapa, naona hapa watu wanataka kucheza nje ya kiwanja. Sasa wakapanga hizo mamipira, vile walifika na players wao, wakatapaka kwa field na wakaingia na hao wacha niwaite ma priests, wakaingia kwa magoli, wakaanza kumwagilia hizo tumaji kwa the goal post, wakamwagilia kwa mipira nini. Sasa mpira ulipokuwa unaendelea, nikasikia ma officials wao wakaanza kuuliza, mbona science haifanyi kazi? Naambiwa inaitwanga science. Kwani ulilipianga science? Mbona science haifanyi? Maana yake tulikuwa tunawapiga mabao kweli. Mbona science haifanyi? In fact, mmoja alikuwa very angry. Ni kama mtu wa science alikuwa he was not giving the money, the worth of the money yenye alipewa. To cut a long story short, tuliwachapa. Pamoja na ushirikiana na kila kitu. Na tuliwashinda mabao 3. Sitaki kusema hiyo nyingine, maana yake nikisema utajua ni timu gani.
During the 99th Mashemeji Derby on the 26th of April 2026 at Nyayo Stadium, a Gor Mahia scout was seen sprinkling stuff on the pitch few minutes before the match began, a ritual that is repeatedly done apparently.
They said it neutralizes their opponent's charm. That's what they say, basically. Yeah. Some say that even the chumbi maneno is in the Bible. I don't know. So that's how I understand it.
In March 2021, photographs of Gor Mahia officials and a newly signed coach Carlos Manuel Pinto at the shrine of Gor Kogalo in Kanyamwa, Ndhiwa, Homa Bay County, sparked widespread debate in football circles. The visit was interpreted as an effort to seek blessings for the new coach and also instill the Kogalo spirits in him. Gor Ogalo was a legendary medicine man after whom the football club was named when it was founded in 1968. Claims of teams using spiritual practices to secure wins or avoid defeat are common in African football. The most recent high-profile incident occurred during Ghana's opening match against Panama at the 2026 World Cup, where the Black Stars won 1-0, and images of an alleged medicine man at the ground went viral.
Ghana could be in business.
Duncan Haemba for NTV.